Hello there, everyone. The Andrade here, and welcome back to episode 44 of our Project Architect 2 Let's Play series, where today we are working on getting our process chain going for uranium hexafluoride, so we can start working on getting into our fission reactor. Let's dive on in. What do you call a boy who stopped digging holes? Well, dug less. Douglas. Get it? Get it? Welcome back, my friends, to another wonderful day, eternal day here in the world of the Andrada, where today we're going to be working on, today, we're going to be working on getting our Mekanism stuff all set up and ready to go. So in between episodes, I didn't do any terraforming. I probably should square this out just to be, square, but doesn't make too much of a difference to me right now. If we run out of room, we run out of room, and I'll figure it out. I went ahead and got us a quantum bridge set up over here with the singularity ready to go, so that way we can, do the thing and have AE over here so we can access all of our stuff. And I went ahead and taught the system all bunch of recipes and pre-crafted a bunch of machines for us and upgrades and all the things that we hopefully should need in order to get this done. So our major goal right now is we're working towards getting a reactor set up. Not even necessarily for power. A fusion reactor, yes, for power. But right now I need to get a fission reactor going so I can get some byproducts, right? We need to make sure, or we need to work on getting ourselves some plutonium and polonium. Those are two items that we get from a reactor. So we have polonium and plutonium. Both of these are required for us to get further into Mekanism, and specifically our major goal right now is to get ourselves an SPS, okay? Supercritical phase shifter. This allows us to create antimatter, which is required for not our archium, but our next tier of item, which is the fading matter. And antimatter is expensive and it's time consuming. It takes a while for this to happen. We need polonium, and for a bucket of polonium, we get 1 millibucket of antimatter. So it can take a while for this to happen, okay? Which is why I want to get this set up now before we get into Draconic and start working on getting this archium done. I want to get our antimatter going so when we get to the point where we need to get that fading matter, we have access to the antimatter that we need. So that's my plan and that's my goal. So in order to do so, we have to go ahead and get ourselves fissile fuel. Fissile fuel is the fuel that is used in a fission reactor. It is what allows the fission reactor to do its thing. It's the fuel. You need water and fissile fuel. Okay. So the chain for getting this looks complicated. I've done this many times. Pretty much every series that I've ever done, we have done this. But I taught the system that, and I taught the system that. But we need to get it done so we can get this going. And like I said, it seems complicated. It's not too hard to do. It is a lot of processes. You can make it easier on yourself by using quantum entangleporters, which we're going to use, because you can set these to hold specific items that are used in multiple different machines, like oxygen or even the water. Kind of. I mean, we'll set up a sink for the water. I don't necessarily need to have it inside of a quantum entangleporter, but yeah, or even Applied Energistics can handle that. Actually, can't. Is there a applied gas? Is there Mekanism? Can you get gases inside of here? Portable chemical cell. You actually can get Mekanism gases inside Mekanism. Applied Mekanistics. That's all that's available here is this stuff. But this would allow me to get the gases into Mekanism. How do I use that though? Do I just import directly? I mean, it's types, right? Could we use Mekanism to handle this and then drag these into... Oh, actually, that was unintended. Drag those into the thing and then use Mekanism for everything? Right? I've never done that before. Should we try it? I think we should. Let's experiment and let's do something different. So let's look at Applied Mekanistics. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab ourselves a chemical cell housing. We'll grab, a recipe for those if I had patterns. So that is Applied Mekanistics. So we're going to have ourselves the chemical housing, which is quartz glass. And then I'm obviously going to want to go with max, big chungus over here, the 256K. Now keep in mind it only holds 5 types. So I am going to have to go ahead and get get more than one, because we've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, at least 10 things in here, probably 11. So we're going to go ahead and grab, at least, why didn't those? Why don't they show up? Interesting. Don't know why they don't show up when I was searching Applied Mekanistics, but whatever. So we're going to want at least 3 of these, but let's just go for broke and grab 4, because aesthetically it's 2 by 2. What is this? Oh, those are mega cells. So it's going to take a minute for this to craft up. Yeah, it's going to take a bit. So I'll hold off on this and we'll be back when this is done. Let me get we're going to grab an additional storage housing or ME cell drive, right? Or ME drive, this thing. Now, this just has more space, right? Yeah, I don't necessarily need that. I didn't know if it was faster or anything. But I'm going to want to grab another ME drive, and I'll just leave that over here, and that'll be set up over here, and that's going to be where our chemicals are going to be stored. What are you? Oh, QIO. Okay. All right. We'll be back. All right. Craft complete. Let's go ahead and shove this guy. We'll place it underground here. I love not having to worry about channels. I'm probably going to play this way for every Applied Energistics setup going forward, because I just don't want to deal with it. It just does not fit my gameplay style. Anyway, so there we go. We have our chemical drives chilling out down there. So now that means we should be able to import and export chemicals through Applied Energistics. It'd be kind of nice while we're here. It would be kind of nice to get Applied Flux going and allow that to handle all of our power too. Yeah. No, that looks like it's too much work. Yeah, that one might be more work than I care about. I'll hold off on that, because I'd have to set up another inscriber to make those special these, and I don't feel like doing that portion of things. So we'll stick with Flux Networks, and that's perfectly fine. Or we could use, if it can handle it, we could use modular routers with energy distributors and speed upgrades and energy upgrades, right? Maybe something like this could help or handle it. We'll see. Okay, so let's go ahead and set this up. I think I'm going to go ahead and go for all of these processes. Let's go over in this direction. So I need to get some cables run over here so that way we can do this, and then we can start getting our machines all set up. So let's grab a set of smart cables, run those over here. And sure, you know what? Right here looks as good a spot as any to me to... I lied. That spot doesn't look good to me. I don't like that spot either. All right, we're going to go pretty far out. I just want to have this stuff separated from everything else. You'll notice I did go ahead and claim all the chunks over here too. So when we get our reactor going, if we have any accidents, well, it's not going to destroy absolutely everything. Just most everything, Okay, cool. So we'll have everything set up starting over here. So what we're going to do, our first step is to get ourselves in the fissile fuel chain. In order to make fissile fuel, we need an isotopic centrifuge. Inside of this, we're going to centrifuge uranium hexafluoride, okay? Uranium hexafluoride is made inside of a chemical infuser. It is a combination of hydrofluoric acid and uranium oxide, okay? Uranium oxide. In order to get hydrofluoric acid, we need to get a chemical dissolution chamber combining sulfuric acid with fluorite. It is, dissolving this into there, making it a supersaturated solution, I'm assuming, and then turns it into hydrofluoric acid. Don't quote me on my chemistry. I did good in college, but that was many, many moons ago. Anyway, then in order to get the sulfuric acid, we need sulfur trioxide mixed with water vapor. Water vapor is easy. It's a decondensator with water. Sulfur trioxide, though, on the other hand, is going to require oxygen and sulfur dioxide. You got to get that extra oxygen bound into there. So sulfur dioxide is going to come from a chemical oxidizer with sulfur dust, and that will make sulfur dioxide. And to get the oxygen, we need a electrolytic separator filled with water, and it will produce the stuff that we need. So then the only other thing that we needed on this chain was the uranium oxide, and that is also a chemical infuser with yellow cake uranium, which is an enrichment chamber, which I forgot to make, of uranium ingots, so we can handle that pretty easy. Like I said, sounds complicated. It's not really terribly too difficult. It's just a matter of keeping track of what in the world you have set up and where, and making sure everything flows correctly. So we have our, well, I thought I literally said I made everything, and I'm missing the electrolytic separator. I guess I only made one. I do want 2 of these. We'll want another one later. But okay, so electrolytic separator is going to go ahead and chill here. Let's go ahead and get our modular router set up. Modular router, you're going to sit like off center. You're going to distribute energy to this guy first. You're going to speed yourself up. You're going to do as absolute much as you can, and we're going to grab flux networks. And grab ourselves a point. And I think, can't we do stack upgrades in this thing too to make it send bigger chunks of power so it can just be super powered? I don't know if this is going to handle it. We'll find out. But this is going to be our Fissile Fuel power. Okay. And it's going to hopefully power everything in here. So, and we're going to go ahead, we're bypassing the limit. Go ahead and use as much power as you need for this. So we have our electrolytic separator set up. It's good to go. So what we need to do is we need to get water into this, and then we need to get the stuff out of it. So it looks like we're going to need to get 1 import bus on this and 2 export buses. So I can go like this. That is export, and then import can be, oh, did I do those backwards? I did. Give me that back. Give me that back. We're going to do export, and then we'll do an import. And the import bus is going to import the water that this is going to need. So we'll connect that up like so. You are going to import. Let's grab some acceleration cards so it can go faster. We'll go ahead and do this, and you're going to import water. Okay, water coming into this. Bada bing, bada boom, we should have water. We're going to go ahead and clear config on everything first, just to be safe. I don't want to deal with it. But our fluids, that's going to input from the back. So we should... You're an input bus, right? Or import. Oh. Poopy doop. I did the wrong thing. I literally had it set up correctly, didn't I? All right, let's try this again. I had that backwards. I get stuck with refined storage's naming system. Okay, so import is where the fluids are going to come in. I did have this set up right the first time. Export is what we export. Okay, there we go. The Andrada's got it. It takes him a minute, but he's got it. Water is going to come into this. Now we should have water coming into it, and it's going to start operating, and then this should start filling up that power. I don't like that this is not filling up the power. It's not filling up the power because I disabled the access to everything. So we'll turn that on. Okay, so we have our electrolytic separator going. It is currently producing hydrogen and oxygen. Now, what we should be able to do is configure these to input both of those. So I'm going to have hydrogen come over on this side. So hydrogen will come over here. And that is regular hydrogen. Now, hydrogen we're not going to use for this process, but we will use for other processes. So we're going to go ahead and put that there. Oxygen is going to come over onto this side, and we will speed it up. And then we're going to want to set both of these to dump their excess. So once it fills up, it'll continue just permanently running forever. One thing to note, this machine is extremely power hungry. Right now, it's only using 160 RF per tick, but eventually it uses tons. Like, we're talking tens of thousands of RF. So keep an eye on this machine if your power is not set up correctly. With that being said, though, we're going to go ahead and import these things. So we're going to say our dark blue gas, our dark blue, we're not going to have auto eject on yet, but our dark blue gas is going to go out to the left. And it already did it, so whatever. Because this is already set to import. But I specified hydrogen, so it should be safe. And then our right is going to go out there, and that's our teal. So now that's going to suck that out. Perfect. We can go ahead and grab ourselves some, some mechanism upgrades. And we can go ahead and throw these in there. I like that these stack up to 64. That's kind of nice now. It used to only be 8, and that was kind of annoying. Okay, so cool. So now this is going, and it's operating as absolute fast as it can, and it is power bottleneck. Look, it's already using it. Flickers up to 40,000 RF per tick. This cannot handle the speed. Can I get more energy upgrades? Like, what if I put another set? I can't. Okay, So modular routers is not the play when it comes to getting the power transferred into this to keep these things smooth and happy. So with that being said, my best way of getting power, man, I really would like to do it wirelessly. I just don't, that flicker is not conducive to this. This is not going to work very well. I mean, we could hook up power to every single machine. I don't care for that setup, but, or I could set one flux pipe and we just run pipes, I guess. That's gonna have to be how it is. What I would like to do then, if that's the case, is let's break this really quick. We'll bring this down one. That way I can go down 2 on this. And so then that way at least the pipes can be hidden. Semi-hidden at least. Okay, cool. So we'll put this over here. We're going to grab our flux points. Get rid of that. We'll bring the flux point over to here. And then we'll go ahead and grab universal cables. And we'll hook that to there. And then this can just start running this way, because we're gonna have another machine sit right here. Okay, then we can go ahead and make it look nicer. If I can grab some dirt, and there we go. Okay, cool. And we can go ahead and do this. And finally, we can go ahead and shut that sound off because it is driving me crazy. That is so high pitched. It literally is hurting my ears. Okay, cool. So electrolytic separator running. It's got enough power now. It's not complaining. The water is keeping up. Yeah, it's keeping up pretty well, I'd say. I mean, it does. Are you kidding me here? There's no other way to get this. Wait, that's supposed to be an extended export bus. Did I not make extend? Because the extended ones are faster. Andrada, I thought I prepped everything I need for this episode, and turns out I'm slacking and failing in all regards. Okay, now can you keep up? It's supposed to be able to do things faster. Look, it's not. I honestly don't know if this is going to be fast enough. There's a delay in when it imports and exports. It's not a constant process. So it's not always importing and always exporting. It's got a delay. I don't know if that's going to work. We'll find out. We need a lot of oxygen. We'll see how this works. Okay, so that took care of our oxygen portion of things. Okay, now our next step is to take that, and we're working on getting ourselves our sulfur trioxide, right? So we have our oxygen. Now let's take care of our sulfur dioxide. The sulfur dioxide is going to be a chemical oxidizer. I should just have that inside of here. Perfect. Chemical oxidizer. Set that up there. And the chemical oxidizer is going to need, in order to make the sulfur dioxide, it's going to need sulfur dust, okay? And the sulfur dust is fairly easy to make. It's just a pulverizer or crusher of sulfur, both of which we have. So let's grab a recipe for sulfur dust. And honestly, do we want to just set up a crusher for this? And maybe just have a dedicated crusher? I don't mind the idea of that. And I guess I'm learning how to do this. And then sulfur dust, not rust, dust. That's you. Crusher. Good, good, good. And a pat. Come on, buddy. Let's put this here. And get a pattern provider. And get a crusher. And we'll set this up top. But how am I going to get power to it? That's the problem here. I would ideally like this to sit up top and have the items export out of there. Man, maybe the applied flux. But again, I don't know if it's going to work, because this does not necessarily work very well. Oh, by the way, can we see the gases? No, we can't see the gases in here. So I wonder how we're going to keep track of the gases. I don't know about that one. Okay. Let's go ahead. Okay, we got power inside of the chemical oxidizer. I need to get power into the crusher itself. How do I get power into this? Maybe we should work on setting up applied flux and see if that can handle the power output. For now, though, I'm just going to use the modular router I already had because I don't feel like going and grabbing all that stuff. And I'll see about next episode setting up applied flux, I guess. Let's do this, and then we'll go ahead. This can handle one machine. It'll be fine. It's more than one machine where it's going to start to struggle. We need... Where did I put... I have... Oh, it's still over here. I was like, wait, where did I put the one that I already had? Excuse me. You're the one who's already configured. You can go here. Now this distributor, I want to go ahead and reset because I don't want it to distribute there. I just want it to bring power to there. Go ahead and do that, and that's full. And the crusher doesn't take terribly too much power, so it's not like it's that big of a deal for the crusher. So we can go ahead and give it energy and then speed and then energy and speed, and there we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and get cables ran. We're going to go ahead and grab extended export bus. Not you. Get out of here. You're making me mad. Extended export bus goes here. You are going to export sulfur. Not you. You, and do it faster. Sulfur is going to come into here. We're going to go ahead and clear config from the back is going to be allowed the inputs. So that should start working. It's going to set in sulfur. And we're going to have that auto eject to the bottom. That accepted it, and it starts to produce sulfur dioxide. Excellent. On the back of this, we're going to want to go ahead and set up an import bus. And the import bus is going to be the sulfur dioxide. Do it as fast as you can. And then on the, let's clear this really quick. Items can come in from the top. Energy can come from anywhere. Gases, you're going to export out to the back. Okay, so it should start pulling that. Good, so we have sulfur dioxide getting exported. So now in our system, we have oxygen, hydrogen, and sulfur dioxide, and it's all here. Let's go ahead and turn off the chemical oxidizer. Great. Next, let's take care of sulfur dioxide. We got that done, and that chemical oxidizer is done. We are also going to need a chemical oxidizer for yellow cake uranium. We'll go ahead and handle that one. That's an enrichment chamber. Might as well. Let's go ahead and just take care of that. We'll just set it all up in the same area. So I need another chemical oxidizer. That guy can go ahead and sit here. Now, these guys are usually your bottleneck. The chemical oxidizers, by the way, they're not the fastest thing in the world. But we'll make it work, and we'll see how it goes. We'll go ahead and grab ourselves ultimate universal cable. Give that there. We'll go ahead and grab our distribution. We'll go ahead and, well, no, not yet, because we don't have the enrichment chamber going. Enrichment chamber, grab that. You're going to sit up top just like so, and then you're going to grab the energy distributor, and you're going to do that. Perfect. Then we're going to go ahead and grab cables. Sure. Export. We're going to put an import bus here for sure. And then we're going to grab an export bus onto this. You are going to export the uranium that we are going to need. So uranium ingots. Now, uranium we do have available to us, right? We're crafting up uranium. Yeah, we have uranium being processed. So uranium ingots are going to go in there, speed it up. You're going to go into the enrichment chamber. You're going to clear your inventory. You're going to allow input from here, which should allow uranium to come in. Perfect. You need to go faster, though. You're slow. There we go. Now, I don't know why I got a pattern provider since I'm just directly allowing that to be crushed. So I don't necessarily need this either. So we have the yellow cake uranium. We're going to output that to the bottom, auto eject. You are going to get your items config cleared, but you will allow input from the top, and your output will go to the back, auto eject, and it is working. We do want to go ahead and set this correctly. We want this to be uranium oxide is what comes into there, just to be safe. I mean, it's only attached to this, so nothing else should be able to go into there, but I like safety, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Now that's going to do that. Perfect. Okay, so that takes care of the uranium oxide portion of things that we're going to need at some point too, and we don't need this. And we don't need this. We're getting there. Now, in order to get our water vapor, we're going to need a rotary concentrator. So we can go ahead and grab that guy, and that is you. You are going to go ahead and sit here as well. And we can go ahead and cable you up. And wow, how rude are you? Did I tell you to do anything? No. And now we're getting liquid uranium oxide, which is not what I want. I need to get a dropper from Mekanism. This will allow me to take this out and get rid of it. I also don't want this stuff. So let's do this. And then I believe I can do this to delete it. Okay, thank you. This is why Mekanism kind of drives me crazy sometimes, because it has default. So I set this down and immediately started doing stuff that I didn't want it to do. Nothing we can do about that, though. It's just the way things are. I mean, there is things we can do about it. We can, place blocks down elsewhere before we do it and set them up, but whatever. So we're going to need an export bus on this. You're going to go there. You're going to grab a cable, and you're going to export some good old H2O into this, and we're going to speed it up. Not those. And that should start turning that into water vapor. Perfect. And then the water vapor can come into the system from, let's say, the top. That's fine. And you are going to import water vapor. Eventually, we'll start exporting things that we need too, by the way. So you're going to input water vapor, and you are going to gases output to the top. And then you probably need speed upgraded. Okay, and sound turned off. Okay, we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. All right, so that is the water vapor that we need. Let's make sure nothing else is enabled on this. Yeah, let's clear this out. I don't want anything funky happening. So that's taking care of the water vapor. Perfect. That's water vapor into a rotary concentrator. So now we should be able to make our sulfur trioxide. We have oxygen and we have sulfur dioxide being produced, right? Yeah, that's sulfur dioxide. Okay, so let's go ahead and get ourselves, that's a chemical infuser that is going to be responsible for this. So we can go ahead and get the chemical infuser down. Chemical infuser is then going to get two inputs, or two import buses. So we can do those on the fronts because we don't have access to all four sides. Or we could space this out really if we wanted to, and then do it here so we could have access to the sides. Honestly, it doesn't really make a difference. And then we're going to have a export bus sit on the top. Okay. We'll grab cable. Okay. So we need to get stuff going into this. So for our on this, we need to have oxygen. Now, it doesn't matter if it's on the left or the right, but for my sake, I like to have it match. We're not having any items. So we're going to have from the back, that will be our input 1, and that's going to be the oxygen. So we'll come over here, and we actually need to reverse these. This is supposed to be export, because now we're putting things into this and then importing something else. So the export buses need to go here, and then an import bus is going to go right here. Okay. So the export bus is going to export the oxygen that we have been creating. So we have oxygen coming into here. So now we should have oxygen here. And then on the right-hand side, our gases, we will input the orange. That's going to be our sulfur dioxide. So sulfur dioxide, I mean, I don't mind having Applied Energistics handle this. This is not working terribly. It's okay. It's just, I wish I could handle, I need to get the applied flux going so the power can be handled through here too. So we're going to go ahead and do these two, bam and bam. And I also want to check, Mekanism has gas upgrades. Not all machines can use them, and I don't remember which ones it is. And it's none of these. One of these machines, or maybe two of them, can use gas upgrades to limit the amount of gas that they are using, and it's recommended to do so. But we have our chemical infuser. It is producing sulfur trioxide. We're going to go over here. The sulfur trioxide is going to get imported into here. We're going to say gas. You can output to the top, auto eject, but it should just automatically take care of it and then speed that up. Okay, so now this can operate and do its thing. And we're pulling 10 buckets every couple seconds there. All right, good. Cleaning up. Next, that took care of this. I don't need you on the board either. Our next step is to go ahead and get ourselves sulfuric acid. That's going to be a chemical dissolution chamber. So we'll grab that guy. And I know we're getting long in the tooth on this episode. I am trying to go as fast as I can here. We'll do this. The beginning of this episode kind of threw me off, so apologies. Chemical dissolution chamber. We're going to go ahead and clear, and clear. Now energy, and slurries, clear. Energy can come in from anywhere. That's perfectly fine. And the chemical dissolution chamber is going to make our, what? What are we using you for? The hydrofluoric acid? Yeah, your sulfuric acid plus fluorite. I'm not there yet, though. I need to get this going. My bad. Let's not do this. We're going to do another chemical infuser, it looks like, right? Of water vapor and sulfur trioxide. Yeah. So let's do another chemical infuser, and it's going to be the exact same setup, essentially. Let's turn the sound of that off. So you are going to get 2 export buses. So we'll do one here and one here. And then we'll have an import bus on the top. And then we need cables to hook it up. Okay. So we're going to export on the red, on the left side. Red is going to be there. The back will be input 2, and the top is going to be our output. On the left side, we're going to have the sulfur trioxide. So let me just bookmark that really quick so I can drag it over and then speed it up. So that'll allow sulfur trioxide to come in there. On the back, we're going to have the water vapor. Okay, so that should be handling the water vapor now. So we should have both of those coming into here. Yes. Export. Export. Chemical infuser. That's because I set this up on the wrong. So orange, red, blue. Red, orange, blue. And we're producing sulfuric acid. Excellent. That's what we wanted. So we'll go ahead and then do this and this. Okay. So now we have sulfuric acid being produced. Now we can go ahead and set up our chemical dissolution chamber. Like I said, this process, it's a long process, but it's not complicated. It's just a lot of machines that you have to set up. And normally, you could handle all of these inputs and outputs if you are smart with your setup. You can have every machine export to the next machine in the line and handle it that way. I like doing this, though, because we have a buffer now of chemicals and stuff. How much buffer? I have no idea because we can't see it, and I don't know if there's a way to, but we have a buffer, at least. Okay, so the chemical dissolution chamber is then going to produce hydrofluoric acid. In order to do so, it needs the sulfuric acid and the fluorite. We should maybe be able to handle both of those from one export bus. Let's see what happens. So we're going to export both of those. So we're going to export sulfuric acid and fluorite. And if we do that, we should be able to come in here and say, okay, items, you're going to input from the back. Perfect. Gases, you're going to input from the back. And it does. It works beautifully. Did I speed upgrade this yet? I have not, and I ran out of upgrades. Mekanism upgrades, I have more. I pre-made 128 because I knew we'd use a lot. Bam and bam. So now that can go faster, and we can turn off the sound of it. So it is producing hydrofluoric acid. We need an import bus for this. And watch all of this be fruitless because this Applied Mekanistics is not fast enough for me. So that should be there. And then we're going to go ahead and say hydrofluoric acid goes here, speed it up, and export gases to the top. There we go. Hydrofluoric acid being produced. Excellent. We're getting there, guys. We're in the end game now. The only thing that we need to do now is make ourselves our uranium hexafluoride. So that's just another chemical infuser. I'm getting all miscombobulated here now, though, with what I need to do. I need to do that first. Then I need to do this guy. This goes here. We have power, clear, clear. Sounds like I'm a doctor in the emergency room or something. We're going to go ahead and same setup that we've had for all of these. We're going to have 2 on the sides and then 1 on the top as an import bus. Bam. And then we can grab cables. So this cable can go here, and sure, this can go down. It doesn't matter. It's all literally the same. Chemical infuser is going to get on the right side this time. We'll go ahead and do the gas on the right. The top is going to be input 2, and the back is going to be input 2, and the top is going to be the output. Okay. So the right-hand side of things is going to need hydrofluoric acid. So that's U, speed upgraded. And we're going to grab hydrofluoric acid. So that should come over here. Then we're going to need uranium oxide. That's going to be the guy in the back. So let's bookmark the oxide really quick. Uranium oxide back. So that should be doing that. And we should be producing uranium hexafluoride. And we do need to speed this up. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. And which are you? Does the chemical dissolution chamber, is that the one that uses the gas upgrades? It is. Ha, see, look, told you there's a machine that uses gas upgrades. Wasn't sure what it was, but that's it. So now we have uranium hexafluoride being input into the system. It's not the fastest in the world, but it's okay. Uranium hexafluoride. And that is our last step, other than getting ourselves the isotopic centrifuge. And then with the isotopic centrifuge, we can produce our fissile fuel. So my last machine that I have here, I made, you can tell, extras because I wasn't sure what I needed. So I just made them. Okay. Wasn't 100% where we were going. This, and that'll get this guy power. Then all we have to do is export on him. Let's grab a export bus. We'll put you there. And you are going to export uranium hexafluoride. I don't know why I cleared it off the list, but uranium hexafluoride. And you're going to go as fast as you can. And that is operating. We're also going to silence it, though. And we're going to configure it, of course. Always going to. So gases, you're going to input from the left. And then on the right-hand side, we can import bus. At this point, though, I might want to use a quantum entanglement porter for this one. I don't know how fast Applied Energistics is going to be. It concerns me that we won't be able to keep up. I don't know. But we have our fissile fuel now. All right. We'll get an import bus. We'll try it. I mean, if we're going to do it, we might as well go all the way, right? And so you're going to input the fissile fuel. And that'll come into you. You can go ahead and do it as fast as you can. And then you gases will output to the back. And there we go. We have fissile fuel production taken care of. So what that means for us is next episode, we will go ahead and get ourselves our fission reactor set up and operating. I do have copy and paste from old Enigmatica 6 days, so that should be good to go. I'm going to upgrade the enrichment chamber and the crusher. We're going to put those up to ultimate tier so they can do things faster. We may need to expand both of these. We may need to get another set of these. It shouldn't be terribly too difficult. That guy can handle that power at least. But those two are our bottleneck. The chemical oxidizers there are where the slowdown generally happens here. So anyway, yeah, if you enjoyed today's episode, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Sorry, it was a little bit long, but I wanted to make sure we got all of this done today so that tomorrow we can, push forward and everything. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, subscribe. Do appreciate it. Really does help with the channel. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.